This is a video I never thought I'd make. So I wanted to make a video about relation to trauma and cleaning and what that looks like. I've never been a cleanly human being, just part of ADHD. I can't keep a space together, but fucking look at me when I when I was in the studio or when I was playing shows and making sure everything was organized, or at a music lesson, I was sure shit ready to go. But in my personal life, it is a whole different story. Why is that? We are still trying to understand majority of ADHD. And I could give you facts and other things, but mainly the real reason is because I wasn't taught how to clean. Because people who are neurodivergent need more or less detailed information versus just being told that. I need detailed explanation because that's just how my brain works. I can't, if I could tell you why that is, this video wouldn't be made, but it is what it is. And I just need that extra help, which never actually happened at home. And in the 1980s, children in special education were tossed aside majority of the time, which was the case for me. And I had always felt that I was a heavy burden on my own family, which is a shitty situation. Where am I getting this with cleaning? Well, I'll tell you. My mom was at her wit's end with me a few times. And there'll be people that will look at this video and what I'm about to say will look at me and go, well, that never happened. It did. A few times. She was with her wit's end at me at one point, and she took a garbage bag and threw out a couple of things. And it like broke me. It really did. We had a garage sale one time, and she tried throwing out stuff that she felt wasn't memorable or worth it. Some childhood toys that I want to keep for when I have a kid and want to pass down. And I had all but a panic attack because no one had a conversation with me. It was once I came home and my room was cleaned for me and I couldn't find anything. And it leaped into an argument where I found out that some of my stuff was thrown out. So it led me to years later being a hoarder, because as it is a mental health unhealthy thing, and I know that. And I held on to stuff because what I felt was important was for me. And when I moved, I moved with the intention of getting everything out. My grandmother's death expedited the idea of selling the house. And they are still in the process of doing so. I don't know where that process is right now because we do not speak. And in the interim of this, last summer, I took Natalie with me to New York and gathered everything I could. And the house that we were living in last summer, prior to this one, was a small space. There was not a lot of room. And I had to gather up my entire childhood, my teen years, and my 20s in boxes and brought them here. That should be a wonderful thing. But I had this burden of, we don't have enough room, and I have to throw things away or give things away. And it brought me to tears like it is right now. I'm a guest in Natalie's home. This is not my house. I am very lucky that I got the opportunity to live here. And had I not met Natalie, we would have been homeless. I'm going to be very blunt. Natalie is the reason why I don't live in a car that was going to get repossessed. Natalie is the reason why I have some semblance of hope right now. And that is a very real thing. So when we moved here, me and Levi made a decision to make sure that we were out of the way. And that we were not imposing on their space, that we made sure we have respect. And then slowly but surely, I realized things that I never thought I would love. The entitlement of privacy. I grew up in a house where people just barged in and opened doors, and I thought that was normal. I mean, I did it with Levi, and I've done it with a few friends of mine, and they didn't understand it, and I was called rude for it. I never realized that it was rude, because I was never entitled to a door being closed, or to knock, or anything else of that matter. And Natalie and Josh knock all the time. We were discussing the cleaning of the room and stuff, and I'd been putting it off, to be honest, because I was just in this all or nothing situation, because I knew I'd have to give or throw things away. And Nat looked at me with a clear point in time, and like clear point blank, and was just like, oh no, you don't have to throw anything away. Like, we have room in the attic, and we can store stuff in there until you're ready to find your own place. Like, nothing has to leave. And I stopped. Broke down. Being given the permission to keep my own things is kind of a weird thing to think about. And when I think about it, it just makes no sense. Because I wasn't valued in my own family. Not the way my siblings were. And it was a true testament. I just accepted it. Just accepted it, and that was the way it was, and I wasn't going to be, and that was just how it was. So, to be entitled to privacy and the entitlement to keep my own things set me into a panic attack last night. The option to keep my own stuff was a revelation I didn't know I needed, and a weight lifted off my shoulders. To have someone sit there and tell me, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And at almost 40 years old, given this choice, it sent me spiraling, because I did not know or realize I had a choice. And there's a difference from hearing those words and acknowledging them. To accept that situation. And last night, I didn't realize how much that had been carried over from my childhood to adulthood. I did not realize how much it affected me. And it has been a hard road healing myself. Almost 2 years away from New York, and away from a family that was never really good for me. And I was born a shit deck. But it was a hand I was dealt, and I had played the game of poker for a very long time, and luck and chance. That's always been my fate. I was not expecting to get to change my hand and get a new deck. You know what I mean? Like, get a new hand. Instead of just having two pair, I ended up getting a full house, and I did not understand the gravity of that until last night. And I bent over in tears, crying for 20 minutes, because of course I have a choice. How do you not have a choice? And people will sit there and tell you that, how can you be upset over that? It's just cleaning. Everyone has to do it. Yes, everyone has to do it. But when it's based in every little thing that's based in trauma, it's harder. And the reason why I don't clean is because of two things. One is because it is hard for me, just because of neurodivergent shit. And two, I felt no point in it anyway, because eventually something was going to be thrown out without my permission and taken away. And I thought I had let a part of that go. Apparently not. I'd be lying to say that if I felt like I was on stable ground, but I hadn't been since I moved. Honestly, I haven't been on stable ground since my mom died. Yeah, I was able to breathe when both my grandmother and my mom died, because it was a pressure I no longer had on my shoulders. With all mixed, different feelings. For the first time in a long time, I feel like the ground is a little bit less wobbly. Like you're on this ship that is swaying back and forth and you can't find stable footing, and then you finally get the call that you hear land ho, and finally you think, I'll be able to walk straight again. Well, as I come, is it hard? Yeah. But every day I'm learning a little bit more about my journey and what I have to do to keep myself safe and to heal what damage I've gotten. And the 3 people in this house keep me stable and grounded and support me. And when I'm insular and when I'm in a panic state, I run to that bedroom. And instead of me running in, and the 3 of them don't like that, so they'll drag me out here and we'll play Switch games and Mario Party, and that is a blessing. And I got the idea to make this video last night because it's something people don't talk about because you're met with shame with it. I lived disgustingly for a year or more because I was shamed with myself. Because what 40-year-old doesn't know how to clean a room or vacuum or take care of things? And I know how to do all that stuff, but the energy it takes to do it, because I was just going to do it wrong anyway, or something was going to get thrown out. What was the point? And I had been stuck in this place for my entire life up until almost 2 years ago. And I was drowning. I wasn't good. I wasn't safe. And the only time I was on a Thursday night going out with my friends and singing karaoke or at a show where I could lose my mind in the music. Had I not been a musician, I probably would have, I don't know what I would have done. I can't really speculate, but all I know is I would have not lived a life that I had lived. I'm getting better every day. To know that my life is actually mine now is a terrifying thing. But I think I'm going to be just fine. I'm taking a more active role in making content, which makes me happy. I've recorded 3 videos today that you'll all see sporadically throughout the week. And I think I'm going to be just fine. I know this wasn't the lighthearted vlogs that you guys like to see. That's okay. Oh, you want to see something cool before we go? I have an RBG ring light. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. There we go. Is that the right color? Hold on. Nope. Yeah, that was the right one. Anyway, before we get too distracted by me, thank you for following along, and follow all my socials. They'll be in the description below. And thanks for being a part of this crazy thing that I've been doing. Also, I have a Twitch channel, so if you ever want to come over and see me be insane on the internet and playing video games and trying to do things, that would be really great. I'll see you guys later. Bye.